What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Unsolicited with Sam and Jordyn. I am Sam. This is Jordyn. Jordyn, whose face I got to see in person for the first time in like a year this past weekend, which I literally screamed in her face. I was so happy to see her. Jordyn, how are you doing since I've seen you in the last few days, which is a crazy thing to say.
No, literally, April is our month.
It literally is.
We had the most beautiful day, showering the most beautiful bride to my right, left, one or the
Whichever
other, one of the directions. No, it was so good to see you. Had the best time. And me and Sam, I feel like I know all of her friends personally, just from all the stories that I've heard over the last 4 or 5 years. But I finally got to meet all of them in person in one room. I got to talk to everybody. It was a great, great moment and so much fun. You looked so amazing. I literally can't get over it. But no, I'm doing good. How are you feeling after your shower? I saw your story. You're enjoying all of your new treats and toys that you received.
I literally said I put it on my private Instagram story, but I basically forgot like the purpose of a bridal shower. Like I kept thinking about the fact that like I'm having a bridal shower and like you get showered, quote unquote, with like gifts. And then I went, oh my God, I completely forgot about the fact that like those gifts then come back with me and then I get to use those gifts. So like I used my brand new pan this morning, my new brand new plate, my brand new silverware. I used my new toaster and like it's been a journey. Like I was like, oh my God, it's so nice to have new stuff. And it's like you get one new thing and you're like, my life has changed. You get like dozens of new things, you can forget about it. And Jordyn got me probably one of the best gifts I've ever received ever in my life, which is a towel warmer. And I've literally been using it for everything. I threw my sweatshirt in there. I've been throwing blankets in there. I threw my towels in there, and it just warms it up. And like when you like put your towel in there and you get out of the shower and it's already warm in the bathroom from like all the steam and everything, and then you just like bundle up and brand new towels too. Let's just throw that one out there because Erin got me new towels. I wrapped up in a brand new warm towel, and I was like, this is where I can die. I just want to die in a towel warmer. Put me
No,
inside of
it was so funny because obviously on the side of the box, it had like the towel warmer thing.
yeah.
Brian came home and he was like, "This is brilliant." And I was like, "I don't know how to break it to you. It's not staying here." Like,
Oh, I'm so sorry, Brian. I'll make
he
sure to get
was
one for your wedding.
so no, literally. And I told him, he was like, "So what did Sam get? Blah, blah, blah." And I was like, "Oh my God, she got gorgeous Tupperware. She got knives.
Yeah.
I saw you got like a knife silverware set." And he was like,
Mhm.
"Jordyn, like we could really use nice knives." And I was like, "Well, let's get married."
Let's go, Brian. We're ready to rock and roll. Because literally, like Michael kind of forgot that too until I was like, when we first got engaged, I first started putting the registry together, and then I was like, "Oh, would you be interested in having like a new cooler, like a big Coleman cooler?" And he was like, "Yeah," and he was like, "Wait, we could put anything on the registry?" And I was like, "Anything," and he was like, "Oh, okay." And we like it was so much fun. We got also like just like a set to like make cocktails, like like you get a shaker and like you can muddle in the thing and anything. Like Sunday, we spent the day like unwrapping everything, taking everything out, like trying to figure out where we're gonna put it. This boy was so stoked to have the big cocktail spoon to like stir cocktails. He was like holding it and he was like, "Look at this." He's like, "Oh my God, I'm so excited to have this." And I was like, "It's a spoon." Out of all things, I'm like, we have towel warmers, we have, a
Sure.
300 something dollar coffee espresso maker now. And he's like, "Look at this spoon." And I'm like, all right. Hey,
I saw
simple things. He's a simple man.
That's hysterical. I saw a TikTok of a girl like showing what she put on the registry, and it was like all the essentials, the towels, the this, the that.
Yes, meats
And
and
she
yeah.
was like, what my fiance put, and it was like a set of samurai swords. Like, she's like,
If he
why do we
if
need
he had
samurai?
access
What?
Literally. If he had access to, well, he does have access, but I don't think he's ever gone in there before. But like, if he had access to actually go in and like figure it out and like add stuff to the registry, that he would have added something like that for sure. Like
Yep.
video games. He'd be like, "Can I put
Yep.
like a brand new, you know, playing console, new PC?" Like, no.
No.
Maybe maybe someone would buy it for you, but usually no.
Maybe.
We don't do that, but yeah, it was a journey. It was a lot of fun, and I felt very loved, and I was so happy to see you and just be around all of my friends, and you got to meet my friends because in just a couple of weeks, we're gonna have not just a bridal shower recap, we're gonna have a full bachelorette weekend recap as Jordyn is coming on my bachelorette trip too. What a journey that episode will be.
That is going to be should we do wait, we could do an episode together in person prior to your bachelorette trip.
Oh my god, we could.
We could do a prelude.
The pre the preparation. Oh my god, yes, because Jordan is coming and staying at my house because we're
Yes.
all flying together, and oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god, I didn't even think about that. We should totally
Me
do that.
either. It literally I was like, "Wait, I'm getting there Thursday or I'm getting there Wednesday."
Yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
god. Yeah, and, like, Wednesday night, we can sit down, and cuddle up on the couch, and have, like, a little
Oh my god, we
session.
can do a couch episode. I'm
Oh god. I
gonna
love that.
cry.
Everyone,
I'm
please keep
gonna
your eye out. This isn't a matter of, like, the next, like, 3 weeks. So, like, this is gonna be great. I'm so freaking excited. Plus the fact that we're gonna see so much of each other because 'cause we're probably gonna see each other for the draft too.
Sam, we're gonna get to, like, hang out like normal friends.
Jesus Christ.
This is
I haven't spent this
insane.
much time with Jordan since 2020.
No, literally, because
Literally
even when we worked
pre-pandemic.
together even when we worked together, we would only see each other, like, once every other week, really.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's right. We did work together after that, but it was mostly remote.
Yes.
Mostly remote, but
You know,
still, yes.
NFL Films, we were together Monday through
Bas
Thursday.
Yeah, I was gonna say basically every day. It's like 4
Yeah,
days a week.
and then
So
I had to do oh my god, do you remember I would work the night shift Thursday night and then work the morning shift. I literally went home and slept for, like, 2 hours and then was back at NFL. I had to be there by 4:30 in the morning.
I know when you left usually at like 11:30, 12.
Yep.
I don't know. Do you ever think about that? Do you ever think
Like,
about, like, what you used to do when you were younger and you're like, "How the fuck did I do that?"
Genuinely was having this conversation today, and I was like, I was talking with one of my coworkers who also does like blogging, sports style podcasting, so fully
Mhm.
understands the grind. And we were talking about it, and like I was like, yeah, like I used to like record a full YouTube video, spend hours editing it, hours promoting it, on top of like working a full time job, waitressing at Chickies and Pete's, like doing all of this. And now it's like if I'm up past 11:30, my whole week is wrecked. Like,
Oh my god, tell me about it. I literally it's unreal. I think about sometimes so, like, when I was in college, as you know, but many people don't know, I worked during the Olympics. I worked
mhm,
for 2 Olympics, and I worked during the Summer Olympics, which was fine because I wasn't in school, and then they asked me to come back for the Pyeongchang Olympics, which happened in February, and I went to school in Albany, New York from Monday to Wednesday. I would leave Wednesday night and drive from Albany to Stanford, Connecticut, work Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, leave Sunday night to then get back to school and then go to class. For a month, I did that. I didn't have a one day off for the entire month of February, my last semester of college. How fucking crazy! Like, I would never do that now.
no, absolutely
It's
not.
horrible. But I
No,
made a shit
that
ton of money, so I was like, "I
I
have to
bet.
do this."
Yeah, and also just like a crazy sick experience being able to be like, oh yeah, like I
Yeah,
casually worked for the Olympics.
also very cool. Yes.
Yeah. No,
I
it's insane. I remember there was one point, I scheduled my classes because I commuted to school and it wasn't far. It was like half
yeah.
hour, 45 minutes with traffic, like nothing crazy. But I thought it would be so much better and I somehow did it, that I scheduled my classes from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then I was working at Chickies Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I was making the most like disgusting amounts of money,
I
but
love that.
I didn't function. Like I was not a normal person.
Yeah, that's the things you do when you are very, very young. I mean, we're still young technically, but when you're very, very young, the things you do, it's bananas. And
Yeah.
like people will tell you like, "Oh, when you get older, you're going to slow down and everything." And obviously you can't kind of fathom that as a younger person, but as I'm getting older, like god, damn, I had a whole conversation with my kickboxing coach today about my joints. I'm gonna be 28 this year. I'm talking about my joints. She was just like, "You need to get a wrist brace." I was like, "Oh no." I was like,
It's
I'm gonna
happening.
be that weird one with a fucking wrist brace at the gym. That's gonna be me.
It's
I can't do
okay. It's gonna be okay.
I'm not getting a wrist brace. I'll probably regret it in the next, like, decade or so, but I'm not gonna
I'm probably gonna need one soon anyway. I think I have the early stages of carpal tunnel.
Twitter fingers, baby.
It literally is
Guess to
tech neck
everybody.
and Twitter fingers.
This has nothing to do with anything, but it just came into my brain, and I just have to bring it up before we go
Yeah.
on to our next scheduled topic. I was driving. So, first of all, most gorgeous day of the world today,
Perfect.
73 and sunny, at least where I was. I assume it
Yeah.
was just as nice down where you are. Um,
Yes. Down
Absolutely
south.
stunning. I down south. Oh, I like took my 1 hour in the afternoon to just like chill out. I went and I sat out on our balcony. I read Silver Flames. I had like a protein shake and I sat out there for an hour. I got some color on my arms, got some color on my face. I was like, this is what I've been waiting for. But
Yes.
I wanted to drive with the windows down. So
Yep.
I'm driving back from kickboxing just before we recorded, and I was listening to My World 2.0 by Justin Bieber. What a goddamn piece of art that album is. Oh my god. I had all the windows down and I was just rolling I was like, this is the happiest I've ever been in my life.
Yes. It's
Stunning.
fun. No, that album is genuinely a national treasure. Um, Absolute perfection. I got to have a moment today that I've been eagerly waiting for. In the same regard of music blaring, windows down.
Uh-huh.
We already know my obsession with Miss Rodrigo's new song, "So American." And
Of
the
course.
second I heard it, I texted Robbie and I was like, all I want to do is for it to be a sunny, gorgeous day and just scream this with the windows down. And I did that today, driving home over the Betsy Ross Bridge. And it was gorgeous outside. There was no traffic. And I was like, I've never felt so alive.
I am obsessed with that. There's something special about like that first really nice day and
Yes.
you being able to go and drive on that very nice day. You put your windows down, you don't have any heat on, you don't have any AC on, like nothing crazy like that. Just the air, because it's like the perfect temperature of the air and just
Chef
perfect.
kiss. No,
Nothing I love more than that.
no. This is that, like, we have like that 1.5 to 2 month period where I really, really love country music. It happens every year. We're in it. I listened to so much Dirk Bentley today. Literally, it's the second the weather gets warm for like cap at 2 months. It's the only thing I will listen to, and then I don't touch it again until the next year when we have our next first nice day.
That is so valid though, because I mean, I have heard a lot of people tell me that this isn't country music, but I do listen to Thomas Rhett, and I think he's very like it's like very like Jimmy Buffett-y kind
Yes.
of country music, but I love that, like kinda like yacht rock almost, but like with a twang. Turn that shit up the second it turns like May. I'm like, "Oh, hell yes. Let's fucking go." I'm normally not a country person, like a country music person, despite Thomas Rhett and like Taylor Swift debut, but like
Yeah.
otherwise I don't really listen to it that much. Except the fucking Austin song on TikTok right now that I can't get out of my
Oh,
brain.
yep.
That one, and the song from Footloose when they're like, "Hey, mister, won't you tell me a fake ID?" God, it goes hard every
Yeah,
single time. The new Footloose, not the old Footloose. But
yes.
yeah, that's the
Oh
extent of
god.
my country music.
Stop now, I just wanna listen to that song. "Hey, mister, won't you sell me a fake ID?"
And they're doing, like, the dance, like, the line dance. I have no idea how to do line dancing, but I'm so into it. Like, if somebody told me, like, "Let's go line dancing," I'd be like, "Yes." I don't know how to do it, but I wanna go.
I just love the theory of everyone hearing a song, breaking out in unison to a dance without it being like they just know. Like you play that shit, it feels like High School Musical to me, and I can't wrap my head around how everyone just like knows these, but I love it and I wish I was a part of it.
And it's everybody too, like, it's women, it's men, it's young people, it's old people, like, I understand, like, how people love the South. Like, it is very, like, communal, and, like, they
Yes.
do a lot of things together. That's, like, very much not what we do in the Northeast, so, like, I understand, like, that need to have, like, that kind of community, but damn, I would line dance the night away. I really
Yeah.
would.
I will
I really
never
would.
forget the last time I went to Tennessee, or the first time I went to Tennessee, I guess I should say. We were walking out of a gas station. I was young, like middle, not like young, young, but like middle school. And we were walking out of a gas station, and like the man in front of me, my mom, my sister, like held the door, smiled at us, told us to have a
Summer.
great day. And I looked at my mom and I was like, oh my, like, are people supposed to be like this? Like, normally, like, people don't make eye contact. Like, no one holds the door. Like, what?
And
I
if
was like,
someone does, you're just like, "Am I gonna get sex trafficked? Why are you doing that?" Like,
literally. I'm like, do you want to throw me in a trunk right now? What is the intention behind you holding the door for me?
no, literally. I've had the same thing when I went down to Myrtle Beach. I went there for spring break 1 year in college and literally be like and, like, it was just, like, so genuine. Like,
Yes.
they were like, "Have a great day," and I was like,
Uh,
thank you."
yes.
Not some,
I'm like,
like,
you.
random cashier that's just like, "Fuck off," and I'm like,
Yep.
"We don't actually do that," but still,
I do
the
it to
energy
people
is
while I'm
there.
driving. I
You
flip
and Michael.
everyone off while I'm driving. I'm like, if you're being insane, I will literally just go like this.
It's the Aries in you.
Dra It is the Aries. Oh my god, apparently I'm being super affected by the solar eclipse because it happened during Aries season.
Perfect transition. I love
Wow.
that so much. You're so good at that.
Thank
You're so good
you.
at let's talk
I didn't even do that
tell
on
me about
purpose.
how you're being affected by the eclipse.
I personally don't know. Everyone's just like, "Oh my god, solar eclipse in Aries season. Are you okay?" And I'm like, "I haven't
No.
turned into Spider-Man. Like, I think I'm fine."
Yeah. Did you watch the eclipse?
I did. Was
Did you have
extremely
glasses?
underwhelmed. I did. I did not look straight at the solar eclipse.
I did.
Nuh-uh.
I
I
didn't
thought
have
you were
any
gonna yell
glasses.
at me.
No, I was what genuinely wondering because I literally walked outside and I put like my regular ass sunglasses on. I just looked up at at the sky, and then Michael came outside and he was like, "Stop looking at the eclipse." And I was like, "How else am I supposed to look at it? I don't have any special glasses." And I know there's like a whole thing you could do with like a box, but like, who cares? I'm gonna go
Yeah.
blind anyway. I'm almost legally blind at this point.
Yeah.
Who cares?
That's what Spencer she has, like, really fair light blue eyes, and she gets eye floaters a lot, like, she has them all the
Mm,
time. And she was like, "What would happen if I just looked up?" And we were like, "Do not even think about it with your eyes." And that's, like, a big anxiety for her, like, she has to deal with these floaters that just came out of nowhere. She's gone to, like, eye doctors and everything to, like, make sure all's good.
oh,
All is so well. It's just like an inconvenience. But we were
yeah.
like, do not fucking look at that bright ass sun. Like, yeah, you already have dots.
The funny thing is I could picture Spencer just walking outside and just going and just
No, look,
staring up at the fucking eclipse.
did you see her TikTok?
No. Oh
Oh,
my
I'm gonna
god.
text it to you right now.
Oh my god. That
It's
girl
the
is so
funniest
funny.
my sister is the most naturally funny person, and she came out of the womb that way, and she does not try to be. It's just
She
like,
doesn't. That's what makes it more funny is that the things she says are funny and she doesn't mean for them to be.
yes, like she just her one-liners are
So good.
literally insane. And my mom said, wait, I just texted it to you.
I'm
My
gonna look at
mom
it.
said that when she was a kid, like my mom would be like, "Oh, like Spencer, stop jumping on the bed," and she'd be like, "No." Like just straight. And my mom was like, "Okay, like
Hey, you know what? Fair.
sure."
Okay. Why isn't it giving it just like open TikTok, but it's not. Hello?
It's so funny.
Hello? Oh my goodness. Well, it's not giving it to me. It's just like brought me to just like my For You page. Oh,
Wait, I wonder.
no, wait.
Wait, I just sent it to you as a DM on TikTok.
Okay, that's probably better. Let's see here. Spencer with the class.
Right? She's just like,
We just send it to me, Rachel. Oh, that's the perfect Spencer TikTok. I
I'm like,
love
she
that.
just lays back, like she puts her arms down. She's like, I'm gonna get comfy here. Wait.
At least she's got her glasses on. At least she's wearing her glasses.
She
That's
is.
the most important
She
thing.
is. And her Eagles t-shirt. Go birds.
It's just yeah, no. The eclipse was very underwhelming. The thing is like I walked outside and I watched like everybody else walk outside their houses and then everyone like looked up and then everyone just kind of like looked around and was like looking at each other like, "Okay,
Yep.
should we just go?" And I was like, "I'm going inside." Like I stood out here for a good 5 minutes waiting for the eclipse and I looked at it. The thing is I would look at it and then I'd shut my eyes so that I could like see like like when you look at the sun and like you can like see it in the back of your
Yeah.
eyelids. That's what I was doing. I was like, "Huh, okay." And then I was like looking at like this crescent behind my eyelid and then that's when
I
Michael was like, "I'm leaving you."
I used to think that there was something wrong with me that my eyes would do that.
Oh, yeah, no.
I didn't realize it was I know now. Let me preface. This is not me finding this out. But I remember when I did find out, I was like, that happens to everyone.
What
I
did you
thought I
think
was
was going
special.
on?
Just
Like,
I thought I got a light show. I thought it was like my creativity. Like yes.
so like when you like rubbed your eyes and you would get like those like
And I would keep them shut. I was like,
patterns.
do not go away. Do
Yeah,
not go away.
I'm enjoying this, please. Oh my god, that's hilarious. That is fantastic.
Oh my god.
Well,
And then yeah, we also had an earthquake.
yeah, like the world was just like eclipses, earthquakes, aftershock, all that good stuff.
Mhm.
The earthquake almost ruined my life because
It
I
did.
got my I was having my dress fitting on Friday for my wedding dress, my first fitting, and my grandmother was coming in from Maine not only for my shower on Saturday, but to come to my dress fitting cuz she's the only one who hasn't like seen my dress in person
Mm.
and I wanted her to see it. Like we're not worried about her dying anytime soon or anything like that, but it was important to me that she saw it.
Yeah.
And the earthquake happens. They weren't letting any planes in. They weren't letting any planes take off. This woman made it with 5 minutes to spare to my appointment. And I was like, "Grandma, you're a fucking rock star, dude. Like you're killing the game." But yeah, it was like 10:30 in the morning. I was sitting on the couch and I thought it was a big truck driving by. Like, like when the
Yes,
truck drives by and like kind of rattles your walls. And
yes.
then it started getting heavier and heavier and I was like and then I just went, "What's going on?" And then our china cabinet door flew open and I went, "No!" And I ran over and then Michael finally runs out of the room and he finds me just like holding on to our china cabinet like what's going on? And then he was like, "It's over." And I was like, "It's still happening." And he was like, "No, it's just you shaking. It's not happening anymore." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And then his mom, who lives downstairs, came upstairs and she was like, "Are the cats okay?" And I found Ollie gnawing on a cardboard box. I was like, "He's fine. He has no brain cells. He doesn't even know what an earthquake is."
That's so funny. No, I was at work, but the theory or the feeling of like a car going by, we have like a bunch of carts that just go around my office with like apparel 24/7. They're just
Mhm.
like big rolling carts. So
Right.
when it first started, I was like, oh, there's a cart coming. And then the same feeling, like you feel it intensify. It was only me and one of my employees. Everyone else was remote that Friday. So I just look over at her.
Oh, yeah,
She
like
goes,
Friday.
do we have it upstairs? Because it sounded like people running back and forth above us. And I was like, I don't think so. And we look, there's people behind us and there's people in front of us. No one's moving. Our entire desks are shaking, our computer shaking. You would think it was business as usual. And so me and her are looking at each other like, are we losing it? Like
Yeah.
no one else was panicking. My mind, this all happens in the span of what? A minute? Like how long was the
Less
earthquake?
than that. Yeah, like maybe 30 seconds.
Yeah, and then I'm like, "Oh my god, the building's falling. Like, I need to get out of the
Yeah.
building." And I finally get up and then it stills. And I was like and then finally someone walked in and was like, "Anybody feel that?" And I was like, "Yes, thank you."
The funny part was is that, like, we have a Ring camera, which is connected to, like, an app, obviously, and then, like, on that app, there's, like, a Ring community where they can, like, say, like, "Hey, somebody stole my package," and, like, post the Ring footage and, like, things like that, and usually it has to do with, like, packages or, like, lost animals, some stuff like that,
Yeah.
all fucking day. Did anybody feel that? Hey, did we just have an earthquake? Hey, did anybody just it's hours later, and I'm like, "Why are you posting about this now?" Like, I
No.
was so angry, so angry. But but then I didn't feel the aftershock. Did you feel the
I
aftershock?
I didn't either.
Okay, I was in my car driving back from our dress fit or my dress fitting, and
I was like, yeah.
and then I texted Michael, I was like, "Did you feel the aftershock?" And he was like, "There was aftershock?" And I was like, "I guess so, apparently."
Yeah, no, I was like, I got the text from Brian. Did you feel that? As I was like getting out of my car and walking up to my apartment door. So I must have been like pulling in my neighborhood as it was going on, and I didn't feel anything.
Yeah, there was, like, a number of people who, like, didn't feel it at all because they
Yes.
were either driving or then I was talking to, like, my coworkers about it because half of my coworkers were in Arizona and the other half were here. So it was like I messaged them and I was like, "Did anybody else just experience an earthquake?" And, like, my coworker in Arizona was just like, "Huh? What?" And I was just like, "No, no, no." I was like, "Jersey, New York people, did you just feel that?" And then my boss said his wife was just outside and he was inside. He felt it, she didn't. So I was like, maybe some people were standing outside and didn't feel it. Like,
Yeah.
the reason we felt it was because we were in a building.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Pretty wild, though. This is my second earthquake that I've
Yes.
experienced. Did you remember the first one? It was, like,
Yes.
10, 12 years ago?
I was gonna say, yeah, like 2011-ish, give or
Yeah.
take. Yeah, no, I remember that one. I was home alone. That woke me up from a nap, and I was like,
Oh, rip.
yeah.
Yeah, I would have been disillusioned, like, "Huh?"
Especially, like, I live in South Jersey. I was like, "Why is the world shaking? Like, what is going on?"
I was in Maine with at my grandmother's house, and the only thing like, it was not as hard up there as it was in, like, the New York, New Jersey area, and it was just, like, the pictures on the wall were shaking, and I, like, came out of my room, and I was like, "Grandma, what was that?" And she was like, "I don't know." And then my dad was like, "Everybody outside! It was an earthquake." And I was like, "Should we go outside? Is that the best course of action? Don't we, like, stand in a doorway or so?" I was like, "What do we do?" My dad was like, "Get outside." And I was like, "Okay."
No, I actually that's so funny because right after it happened, me and my coworker looked at each other and we were just like, I just realized like I wouldn't like if it was like a bad earthquake, I was like, I don't know protocol. Like I don't know what to do in that situation. And my gut would have been to just get under my desk. Like if
That
it was
seems
like
right.
really bad, but
That
I
seems
don't
valid.
know. I don't know what to do in during an earthquake.
I'm pretty sure you have to be either in the center of a room or, like, away from windows, which, of
Okay.
course, my mom told me that when she felt it, she ran directly to a window, so whatever Dee Dee does, you should probably do the opposite of, Because she was just being like, "What's going on?" and like ran to the window.
She's my
um,
favorite person ever.
but yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it. The funny thing was is that Sarah was here in New York and obviously for my shower, but she lived in California for 5 years. So like this was nothing to her. And her mom was like freaking out. So she like had to place her mom in like a doorway to like hold on, like steady herself. So I was like, oh, I guess doorways are also a thing that you're supposed to be
Okay, noted.
doing. So just in case we have another earthquake in the next another 10 years or so. That I think is what you're supposed to do. Don't take our word for it. We don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah, no, ask a Californian or any West Coast person.
Yeah, yeah. And Kat too. Kat lived in Japan and Japan
Yes.
has earthquakes. So like she also knew what was going on. Me, I was just like, I experienced one earthquake in Maine 12 years ago. That's about it. So I don't know
Yeah, I
anything about it.
remember the earthquake came at the time of like Harambe, Sandy
R.I.P.
era. What a time to be alive.
That was a time to be alive. The
Yeah.
2010 to 2012 like years. Fever dream. This is what happens when Jordan and I are in close proximity to each other at some point. Like our brain cells, like the Bluetooth goes off and it goes ding, and then it connects. And then we like read each other's minds for like a 7 to 10 business days, and then it disappears again for a little bit.
Oh my
But
God.
forget it. After this month,
I was gonna say
it's gonna go on for like a couple of months. We're gonna be like so in sync with each other.
Oh, I miss it. Me and Sam literally, when we worked together, would just finish each other's, like, we didn't have to have a single conversation. I'd be like, you do. She'll be like, yeah, I do that. You do. And I'm like, yep, I do. You
I do that, you do this.
I
And
do
then we'd
this,
be like, okay, break.
done. But then we would stay on Zoom for an hour and a half.
Yeah, it was like we figured out what we had to do within a matter of like 5 minutes, and then we would sit on our Zoom would start at 10 and we'd be like, okay, it's 12:30 now. We should log
Yep.
off and start doing our work.
And
So
also we could only have, like, we had limited time on Zoom. So we would literally get kicked off and then make a new call and hop back on, even though we still had nothing to talk about.
it
We
was
were just we were coworkers. We were working together.
the best of times, the worst of times.
R.I.P.
But this episode is actually going to come out on April 11th. So it's been 1 year to the day that Jordan and I were sadly let go from our jobs. And now we're here a year later, thriving.
Oh, I will never, ever forget the chaos of that day.
What a journey that day was.
It was a journey.
That was such a weird day. It was us just on FaceTime for most of the day, just crying.
Yeah.
That was most of the day. And then us saying, okay, we're going to start a business.
We literally, like, we got laid off and me and Sam were like, we're going to start a social media agency. Like,
yeah, Jordan sent me like blueprints and everything.
I have no idea how to run a social media agency.
Neither of us do.
No.
But we were ready to do it. And then like a day later, I was like, Jordan, it's time to start the podcast.
Yeah.
And she was
No,
like,
literally.
okay.
Yep.
And then that's when, and here we are.
Because I'm pretty sure we picked the Unsolicited name. We made graphics while we still had a job. And it was something that we were like talking about, but didn't know when to start. And then, yeah, we got laid off and Sam was like, rip off the Band-Aid.
I was like, let's just do it. Let's just do it. It was super fun.
Great decision.
Everything happens for a reason.
Yes.
And that's
Yes,
that's the truth.
I was trying to think of a segue into our next topic.
I was going to say, let's get sporty.
Let's get sporty. March Madness is done.
Hell yeah. So we do have, I'm going to pull it up again so that I can see the actual name, but we do have a winner for our March Madness bracket, but we haven't heard from them yet. So I'm gonna throw it out there.
DM us on Twitter, Instagram, comment on this YouTube video wherever you feel the most comfortable. Let us know where we can send you your huge prize.
$20.
Yes.
Landon Durr, who picked South Carolina to win over Iowa. Very, very good picks.
Yes.
And if we don't hear from them in the next week or so,
Yeah.
we'll probably just start making our way down until somebody answers us and we can give you $20.
Yes. We just want to pay someone $20.
We're just trying to give away $20 and
Yes.
that's really it. But yeah, March Madness finished up. Women's March Madness championship game, super fun. Men's March Madness championship game, super lame and super boring.
Mm-hmm.
I was
Yeah.
so unhappy on Monday night watching the Purdue UConn game because it's actually, I should say, it did start good.
Yes.
It started very competitive in the beginning, and then UConn started to pull away, and I was like, Purdue is never going to catch up with them. Like, it's just not possible. That team is just they're so good. And then they're one of 4 teams who have won back-to-back
Yep.
March Madness champions.
You know who the last team to do it was before them?
Florida?
Yeah.
I learned so much about March Madness this year. I feel very confident in my March Madness abilities now. I was not a March Madness girly, but man, that woman's game, chef's kiss. It was so good, and it just, I'm really sad that Caitlin Clark didn't win her championship that I think that she did deserve. But South Carolina was so dominant and they looked so good. I was crying at the end of the game. I don't know why, but I
No,
was.
it was such a good game. And obviously, I am a Caitlin Clark fangirl to the extreme, but there's no way that like I could be sad that South Carolina won. Like
No.
that team is just so good, so talented. Dawn Staley is a Philly legend. Like I have like love her, worship her. And also it's just so impressive what that program's been able to do. They lost all 5 of their starters from the season prior and are
That's
operating
a good team.
Yes. Yes. And the one thing I was telling Brian this during the men's championship game. The one thing I love about college basketball is like coaches stay there, like stay with the school for so long at a time. And obviously there's some movement. I know we just got one coaching shift after Kentucky, but like for the most part, like they'll stay there for chunks of time and like they really build like a legacy, a program. And I just think there's something so special about that. We don't get that in professional sports. So, really cool to see, really amazing to see what Dawn is doing for South Carolina. And yeah, that game was just unbelievable.
Yeah, and we definitely want to talk a lot about women's basketball a bit here because something I just found out, I ended up posting about it on TikTok and getting a lot of comments explaining a lot of things to me. So the championship just happened April 7th. The draft is next week on April 15th. And then the WNBA season starts May 14th. So they have a month to get everything together. I mean, yes, they have been training up until this point to go into the WNBA for the ones that have declared for the draft. But like Angel Reese just declared like last week, like some of these girls, women really, are not like they're literally graduating from college and stepping into the professional basketball world. And
Yep.
I get that a lot of people do that. A lot of athletes do that, especially like NFL draft. Some guys don't even finish college. They're there for like 2 years and then they jump into it. They're very young. But like it's just like this is graduation time. Like you're finishing up your college years and then like you're jumping right into I don't know. It just like really blows my mind and I understand it has also to do with like they don't want the WNBA to compete with other sports and then they only get like the summertime to do stuff and then there's like a bunch of other stuff going on with shared arenas and like things like I get it, but at the same time I'm like this is going to change in the next couple of years because of the amount of eyes that are going to be on this league just based off of this draft class alone. it's going to be insane.
No, literally, this draft class is changing the face of the WNBA. And that leads me into one of our next points about this. Some of the comments that have been made from current WNBA stars, veterans, like these big WNBA names that are kind of really roasting and being very, very tough on this draft class, specifically Caitlin Clark. And I just have a lot of thoughts, and I'm interested to hear yours because, I mean, the majority of the comments that I made were like, that they're in for a rude awakening. There's going to be this transition period. You're playing against 18-year-olds. We've been playing in this league for years. Like, you're coming against grown women now. Like, and I get that. Like, obviously, there's going to be some transition because it is very true. They are playing against 18-year-olds. And now you are going to be playing against professionals. But I think what bothers me about it is that it was in such a snarky way. And also, like, not giving any encouragement or like feeding off of the vibes and the good energy that these young girls in this draft class and these up and coming stars are bringing to your league. Like, they're making changes for you. They're probably going to get you paid more. And that's not taking away from anything that these stars have done, because obviously they've deserved this for longer. But like, now it's happening. So like, I feel like there should be more positivity around it than there is. And I get they're probably going to be rivals. Like, they're going to play against each other, but I didn't feel as much like women hyping up women from women within the WNBA.
Right. And I was watching that simulcast of Sue Bird and Diana Taurasi, and I watched them say those. Well, it was mostly Diana Taurasi who said these things. We can name drop, it's fine. Because it's true. That's we're just saying
I
what
also feel like everyone knows who I'm talking about.
It's like this the little sneak around. No, but it was, this is what she said. And as a public figure, as a professional athlete, you're going to get criticized for the things that you say on live TV. It's just what happens. But I was watching that before I turned on the regular broadcast, because I ended up changing it after that because I got so annoyed. And they were like, I was listening to her, and like at first I was like, oh, she's gonna like talk about how good Caitlin Clark is and like everything like that and all this good stuff. And then she started saying things like that, and like, again, like you said, completely understand, like, they have never played professional basketball, but at the same time, like, Caitlin Clark is such a good athlete, and it's very obvious the potential she has to play and be one of the greatest women's basketball players in the WNBA. And I'm sure there might be, just to give Diana Taurasi a little bit of like the benefit of the doubt, like, she's been playing in this league for so long and it's never gotten this many eyes before, and it's almost like, why wasn't I good enough to bring in, like, and like, I totally would probably feel the same way. But at the same time, we really shouldn't be bringing down or saying comments like that about the person who's literally going to put the WNBA on the map for people to want to watch.
I agree 1000%. And that's kind of what I was alluding to earlier with that sense of like, we know that they have not gotten the attention and the respect that they deserve. And that feeling of it being like, okay, like, why her? There's been so much talent. Like, I fully understand that. I just think there are so many different ways to show that and being like, hey, here's what Caitlin Clark's doing. We respect her. Maybe a tough transition, but she's going to be a legend. Here's all the amazing things that you've missed while you weren't watching the WNBA. Like, because now we know it's happening, just we weren't paying attention, or I wasn't paying enough attention. Majority of people weren't paying enough attention. So like, it's been going on. We just weren't there yet. And I just feel like now everyone's in, everyone's hype. And I don't know, it just wasn't good vibes. It didn't rub me the right way.
It's also college women's basketball hoops is what leads into WNBA eventually. We've been watching Caitlin Clark for the last 4 years. She played all 4 years of college. And like that, you following that person who proceedingly gets better, and it's very obvious that she's going to keep getting better, like that's, I think, that shift that we've gotten so far. Like, yes, there are incredibly talented WNBA players who have been in the league. Diana Taurasi is one of them. She
Yep.
is somebody, but we weren't watching women's college hoops when Diana Taurasi was playing. And that's, I think, where the disconnect is. It's like women's sports is finally on the up, and this is the person who's here. This is who we're following. It's just a matter of time, really, and like eyes and things changing.
Yes. And I feel so yucky even saying this because I hate taking men's side over women's. But it's just like in the NFL, this happens every year. Like there are amazing, like league changing players every year. It happens all the time. Like no one takes away from the legends that have been there. Like it's just, these are the up and coming stars, generational talent. Like you hear it all the time. So I don't think that like the hype that Caitlin Clark, and not even just her, Angel Reese, like Camila Cardoso, Cameron Brink, like this entire draft class, their Paige, who's not even declared yet, is getting all that hype as well. Like there is so much talent. And again, this should be exciting. Like now it's like, I don't know. It just rubs me the wrong way, the whole thing.
I think it rubbed everybody the wrong way. And whether or not that's what she meant when she said that, it's like that's how it came across. And it's unfortunate because it also, what really grinds my gears about it is that the men and other people of the world who are seeing this and saying, I could beat Caitlin Clark on a one-on-one and this and that, but saying outrageous things like that, see Diana Taurasi say stuff like that about Caitlin Clark and then go, well, see, like women attacking women, this is why women's sports can't work. And it like gives them fuel for the fire. And that's what pisses me off. It's like, no, like women really, and like that doesn't really happen in women's sports. Most of the time, women are picking up other women to like make things better and make people more known of like what they're doing and like all that kind of stuff. So like that was the part I think the most that really made me angry, because men say stuff about that to other men all the time, but we've been watching it for so long that at this point it's like it doesn't even affect us. But like now to see that, and it's like we really don't want to bring it down quite yet. Maybe in like a couple of years, let's start talking like that. Like there are just people, and it's not men and women, it's just people. Then maybe we can start bringing people down for based on their, their play in the professional world. But that was the part that really pissed me off, was giving the men the fuel to put in that fire a little bit more. And by the way, you couldn't beat Caitlin Clark because girl hits threes from the logo. You could not do that in your JV rec basketball that you do down at the YMCA. Okay, sorry.
No, you couldn't. Literally, I watch her and just get full body chills. Like it's just, and I'm like, this is how young boys feel when they're 7 watching football. And it's like, I could do that. And now I'm 5 feet tall, 26 years old, being like, oh my God, I want to be a professional basketball player.
Like, you just brought like a literal like tears to my eyes saying that.
No.
Like, I'm like not even kidding. Like thinking about like one day, hopefully I have a daughter that I can bring up to and like enjoy women's sports, and for her to see, oh my God, I'm like literally tearing up just thinking about that. Like for them to like have the opportunity to feel what young boys get to feel and have the opportunity to go and do. Oh my God. I'm not even gonna say anymore because I'll start full on bawling.
Blubbering. Anyway, to sum up this entire segment, long live women's basketball. We are so excited for the draft. Hey, next week we can do WNBA draft recap, which is going to be super fun.
I would love that.
And I can't wait. And I'm so excited for the future of the WNBA.
Let's go. And women's sports in general.
Yes, continue.
No, I don't even know what I was going to say.
I was going to say also, who do I need to speak with about getting a WNBA team in Philly? And why don't we have one?
I don't know who to talk to about that, but maybe the president of the WNBA. I don't know who that is, but maybe send her an email or them an email. Jordyn is looking up on LinkedIn right now. She's gonna
Yep.
connect on LinkedIn. Find out who it's
This
like.
is this looks like a very gorgeous name. I don't know how to pronounce it, and I do not want to butcher it. Ooh,
It,
she is a powerful Black woman, and I want to be her friend, and I also need to contact her to give me a WNBA team in Philly.
oh, they talked to her. Sue Bird and Diana Taurasi talked to her. I think her name is Nika Agumake, something along those lines. Is that who
Okay.
you're looking at? That name?
Yep.
I don't know if I messed that up, but I think that that's as close as we're gonna get. But I did watch her like get interviewed, and I didn't even realize she was the president of the WNBA. I thought she was just a really cool person.
No, I mean, she seems to be both.
That's amazing.
I kind of love. Oh wait, no. Now this is saying new WNBA president Lisa Borders.
Oh. Well, let's just email them all for
Yes.
Jordyn's sake.
We are the largest sports city that does not have a WNBA team yet. And they're talking about adding another one to California. Why?
Because California, like, literally hoards sports teams. They think because they're
people in
such a big
California.
state.
Yes, but people in California don't even like sports. Who in LA is a diehard sports fan?
I think the only person, and we've brought her up so many times on this podcast, Annie OD lives in San Diego, and she loves the Anaheim Ducks. She loves the LA Dodgers. She's not a football fan in LA, though. That's one thing. But I would say, otherwise, I don't
She's
really
a
know
Ravens
any.
fan.
Yes, she is a Ravens fan. I don't know any other person in California because Sarah's husband, who is a SoCal native, is a Steelers fan. He doesn't even root for anybody in California. So that just goes to show.
Yeah. No, people, because I feel like California is the place that majority of people move to. At least like the cities, like LA and whatever. So they may be sports fans, but it's normally from like another place.
Correct.
So there's like, long story short, just bring the WNBA to Philly.
In the meantime, you can root for the New York Liberty.
I think I'm just going to be patient. You know what? I'm sorry. You know who I'm going to root for.
You're going to root for the Indiana Fever.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's just road trip it out to Indiana.
Or when they play New York Liberty in July, we should go.
Are they playing in July?
Yes.
Let's see.
Fever. I think it's July 7th.
Yeah, that's 2 days before my birthday.
Yes, it is. That July 9th, the beat in your heart.
Actually, they're going to be playing May 18th, Saturday, May 18th, Indiana Fever at the Barclays Center. Oh wait, I have wedding stuff happening that day. I'm sorry. I just realized. I just remembered. I have a florist appointment that day.
Oh my god! Is that like the real season? It really starts that soon?
It starts the 14th. May 14th is the first day.
There's no pre-season. It's just like welcome.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I was like, there is like barely any breathing room for them to like transition.
Will they even be graduated college yet? Like, what if their graduation's like the end of May?
That's what they usually don't go. This is what I found out a lot from like when I posted this TikTok. A lot of people were like commenting on it and like educating me on how certain things work. And they said most of these women do not get to walk at graduation because they've been drafted. And then like there's a lot of people actually who get drafted and then they don't even make the roster because there's not enough money and space and stuff like that to accompany them. So despite getting drafted, there's a chance that they don't even play for the team that they got drafted by. Isn't that crazy?
Insane. Everything is going to change for the WNBA. We're
really
witnessing it. And that's the coolest thing ever. Also, the last thing I'm going to say about women's college basketball. I am fucking praying that someone draft Kate Martin.
Mm,
I will sell my soul for
that
her to play on a WNBA. I cannot fathom. Like, if that was the last time we ever watch her play, I will never go on. I've seen her do interviews where she's like, "Yep, I'll just be like another Joe Schmo after this if I don't get drafted." Girl, she better.
I'm literally trying to find if she's in any mocks because I've been looking at a lot of mock drafts and I haven't seen her name, but
No.
she did stay in Iowa State for 5 years.
Yep.
Like she was there for an extra. She was a super
Yeah,
senior.
she's a graduate.
I'd have to do some research. I haven't seen her in any mock drafts, but I
Let
know
me
I like Kate
see.
Martin too. She is very, very. It's like her, and Caitlin Clark. Like they were the duo. They were the duo. And you want to know
Yeah.
what else to seal up our March Madness women's basketball conversation? Like just the fact that Paige didn't declare for the draft yet is great because then everyone's going to come back next year
Mhm.
to watch Paige, to watch Juju Watkins, like the entire South Carolina team again. Like
Yep.
all those girls are going to bring back viewers again. It's like Paige is going to be the girl
Yep.
of next year. Like, and I've gotten so many Paige Beckers fucking thirst traps on my TikTok now. It's unreal.
I
Like,
got a video that called me out so hard. It was a girl like screaming, falling to the floor. And it was like when you find out Paige is straight, but then you remember you're also straight and you literally have a boyfriend. And she falls to the floor, gets up, looks around, and walks away. And I was like, be quiet.
Wait, be quiet. I'm done. That's so funny.
No, I am
That's
so upset.
hilarious.
My whole For You page is, and it's always oh my God, there's a song that's always with it.
Is
What
there?
song?
I haven't
Yeah.
noticed.
Oh my
That
goodness.
if you guys aren't on Paige Becker's TikTok, what are you doing?
No, you are missing out.
Even if you're not like a Paige Becker's fan, they're just fucking awesome edits. They're
No,
so good.
also the one sound, this isn't the one I'm thinking of, but there's one where it's like, I'm sort of famous, I'm kind of known, and if your son doesn't, I bet your daughter knows.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I saw that one too, and I was like, that's so real because every single girlie in America knows who Paige Beckers is.
oh, grab her from the ponytail. The Weeknd, this. I don't know if you can hear it. Wait.
Don't play too much or we'll get banned on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
I know this.
Like, this girl, stop with using this song with these edits.
Oh, yeah, we had a great time. I think this was a great March Madness. This is probably one of the best March Madnesses I've ever experienced.
And I'm going to be honest, I watched probably a quarter of the men's and watched 90% of the women's.
I bet that's where the action was.
Yeah.
Oh, how the turntables.
I love it. And now in our last couple of minutes here, we are dying to hear your thoughts on A Court of Silver Flames so far, third of the way in.
So yeah, so I wrote
Again,
1/3 because I think we're gonna have to do this one in 3 parts. Like I'll probably get to like here-ish by next week, and then we'll finish it off. So spoilers.
Yep.
Gonna be literally spoiling everything in this book, and there was a major thing that I just ended off on. So spoilers, get away if you haven't read A Court of Silver Flames yet. Okay, 3, 2, 1, here we go. Feyre's pregnant. I walked into our bedroom. So I was reading this afternoon for like 45-ish minutes just to like have like a little break in the middle of the day. And I walked into, first of all, I always walk into Michael's room when he's on a meeting. It happens 9 times out of 10. It's the funniest thing. But I walked in again after I interrupted his meeting and I went, "They're pregnant." And he went, "Who?" And I was like, "The people in my book." And he was like, "Okay." Great.
Okay.
Fantastic. Making little fairy babies. And I was like, yes, they are. And so that was like the thing that they literally just ended up on. And she told Nesta that it's a boy. But this book has been very heavily Nesta Cassian based, as you know. And finally, we've gotten a little bit of action. It took a little bit of time. Nesta has been very closed off. Homegirl needs a therapist so bad. Um
Yeah.
it's not very good. She has a major drinking problem and literally puts herself through pain to try and make her way down these steps at the top of the House of Wind and go drinking, but she never makes it. Not yet, anyway. I have a feeling she's gonna do it at some point. I just don't know when. We're at like stair 1000 that she can make it to right now. That's like where she's at.
Out of
But
10
I
for context.
out of 10,000. Yes. So lot of flirtatious energy between her and Cassian. And we also found out she's been friends with one of the priestesses in the library, Gwen. And she found out about the Valkyrie. And my thought is that she's trying to get these girls to train with her and Cassian. And I have a feeling that she's going to like bring back the Valkyrie and like make it happen again, because despite her being a little bit of a bitch and really annoying, like I still do like her. I feel her character arc like it's like here right now, and it's like just sitting up here, and I'm like just waiting for it to dink dink and like start getting better again. But I have a feeling that's kind of the vibe. And we did have a bit of a altercation with her and Cassian. Very minor, nothing crazy yet, but yeah. That was a nice little chapter to get through. And otherwise, not much happens in the beginning of this book.
No.
It's very much a lot of the same stuff over and over again.
Yep.
So
I'm gonna leave you with that. I'm not gonna say anything because
I I understand. You don't want to give anything away. But
I'm just glad you're enjoying it.
yes, it is definitely, I slowed down a lot reading this book.
I did too.
Usually like when I was in Wings and Ruin, I was like finished by now. And
Mhm.
so, it's definitely on the slower side, but I have a feeling now that we kind of know who the villains are. So like we have Brylan, who is the queen,
Mhm.
who went into the cauldron and became immortal, but she's like super old and wrinkly
Mhm.
and bitter. And then we have the other guy, who I forget his name, but he's like the Death Lord, who's like Vasa's guy.
Yes.
I
Why do I
forget his
forget his name?
starts with a
Jay?
K.
Oh.
It starts with a K. It's like
Killian?
no. Hold on. Let me see if I should find it. They just like sat down and talked about it. Like Asriel, like kind of
I always tell the story of when me and you were both talking about Ethane. I still don't Ianthe.
Beyonce, yeah.
I pronounced it Ethane the whole time, and I was like, "Who are you talking about?" And you were like, and I was like, "No, I don't," because we both pronounced it so different. I had no idea who she
Koshi, Lord Koshi. Koschei. I think it's Keishi or Koshi. But anyway, so he's like Vasa's like person who like cursed her. And then we have Brylan, who is one of the queens. And Eris is like trying to work with them, but also in like kind of like a weird, like blackmailing kind of way. I don't know what's really going on there. But Baron is trying to start this war with these guys, and like it's like a whole fucking thing. So like we know the underlying war and like not the criminals, the villains that are happening, which I feel like we got that pretty early on in the book here, as opposed to like in A Court of Thorns and Roses when we didn't find out about Amarantha till like page 250. So it's like, okay, it's like I know things are coming. I know something is brewing, but we just kind of don't know where it's gonna head yet. And we have a little bit of Cassian and Nesta stuff going on. We got Feyre and Rhys expecting a baby, which I'm gonna assume the baby's gonna be born at some point in this book. And I do have a question though. That's not like, hopefully it's not gonna spoil anything. But like, does this book kind of like end the series, or does it leave things open for like more things to happen?
Um, you feel closure, like it could have ended. Like it
Okay.
enough gets closed that you're like, okay, like it could have ended here, but there are a lot of storylines where you're like, I feel like I needed more. And I don't know. I know she's in the process of writing one more. I don't know if that'll be the last one, and I don't know what direction she's going.
Okay.
But if the series did end here, you'd be fine. But I'm glad that there's another one coming because I'm hoping that a couple of the loose ends that you have get wrapped up in that one.
Gotcha. Okay. Because I was like thinking about it
Was
because I
that a good?
know.
Was that okay?
Yes, it is. It because I didn't know what to kind of expect. Like I was like, should I like be prepared to like kind of like end and not expect anymore? But there is
I
another book coming.
Yes, and I didn't even know there was another book coming until after I finished it. So like I
Okay.
was okay if the series was done, but I was
Okay.
just like a little disappointed. Like I was like, "Oh, I would have liked to know more about this and that." And now it makes sense
Gotcha.
that there's another book coming.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. That's all I really want to know. I just want to like prepare myself mentally.
Yes.
But
No, you'll be
I also was like very interested in the fact that like this is called like a court of silver flames and not like a court of blank and blank. And
yeah.
then as I was reading it, like Cassian said something, he was just like, and silver flames erupted in Nesta's eyes. And I was like, ah, ah, ah,
I think
ah.
I underlined it. I love when I find the title in a book. That's like the best feeling ever.
The joke between Michael and I is like whenever like if we're watching a movie and they like say the title of the movie, I always go roll credits. The movie's over. They said the title of the movie. Never no
Yes.
more. But that happened here and like I was like probably like I don't know, like 150 200 pages in when they like said it and I went, "Ah!" and I pointed to it and Michael goes, "Oh, so the book's over." And I was like, "Do you see how big this book is?" I was like, "Look at how much more I got left." And yeah, but I was very excited because I was like, okay, the silver flames is because we're like kind of hinting at Nesta's powers and like that whole situation. Oh, I also just want to say shout out to Elaine for like working through her trauma and now she's like doing really well and she's just like, fuck you, Nesta. You can't control me or tell me I can't do something, blah blah blah. And I don't think I realized that Feyre, I think I probably realized in the beginning of the series, but Feyre is the youngest sister
Mhm.
and I kind of thought Elaine was because of just like her overall vibe. But like, yeah, just thought that was very interesting that
Yes.
Elaine is the middle sister.
No,
Ferris.
it does. It never feels that way. Elaine does feel like the baby, but it literally, she is in a sense because like Feyre was always like off on her own. And then it was like Nesta taking care of Elaine. So like Elaine did have that like younger sister vibe just because they kind of were like,
Yeah.
Feyre's going to fix everything
Mhm.
or keep us
Mhm.
alive kind of thing.
Yeah. Um before we head out, I do want to I wrote it down on like a post-it note because I wanted to bring it up to you. I saw a possible like conspiracy theory within ACOTAR and stop me if you've heard it,
I think I
but
have.
the story like the theory is that Amarantha and Tamlin are mates.
Yes.
Did you hear
And
about this?
yes, and it makes so much sense.
I literally as I was like it was these two girls who were talking about it and they also doing a podcast. Shout out to you guys. I don't know the name of your podcast, but I was very intrigued by what you posted on TikTok. But like basically it was like Tamlin rejected Amarantha's like mate connection and like she was getting the revenge to try and like get him back and like all this stuff and then making having Reese it made him jealous, quote unquote, like if that even worked. And then like then Tamlin gets the trauma of killing Amarantha and that's why he was like trying so hard to hold on to Feyre, because he was like trying to force this like mating bond onto Feyre. And I was like, this honestly, I was like, this is canon in my brain. It made so much sense that I was like, there's nothing else.
Yes. No, I am hoping that in the next book, that is one of the storylines, because it really does tie so much together and it's just nuts.
No, it really is. It really is. And I wonder if like Sarah J. Maas like goes on TikTok and like scrolls through things and she's like, "Oh, that's good," and then like grabs it and like tries to write it in,
Can you
which would be very
imagine?
funny.
That
I
would be
mean,
funny.
who knows? Who
Who
knows? But
knows?
yeah, I just had to throw that out there too because I was like, that is a crazy theory.
No,
And
I'm in full support of this theory.
but yeah, that's all
I'm
I got.
I am in full support. And if you are in full support of us, make sure to like this video, subscribe to us here on the channel, follow us on all of our social medias at the unsolicited underscore podcast for TikTok, Instagram, and threads, at Sam and Jordyn for Twitter. And then, of course, on audio where you get all of your podcasts. And we will be back next week for a recap of the WNBA draft. Go Indiana
Woohoo!
Fever!
Bye.